So you know how sometimes things get a little complicated behind the scenes with big companies and governments? Well, that's exactly what happened with Apple and Indonesia recently, and it's finally been sorted out. For a while there you couldn't officially buy the iPhone 16 in Indonesia. Yep, a whole ban. It started back in October, and it was because the Indonesian government wanted Apple to do more within the country. They have this rule about smartphones needing a certain amount of local stuff in them, and apparently, Apple hadn't quite met that requirement for the iPhone 16. Now, Indonesia is a pretty big market with a lot of people, like almost 300 million. So not being able to sell your latest phone, there is a pretty big deal for a company like Apple. You can imagine they were probably losing out on quite a bit of money while the ban was in place. But guess what? After months of talks and probably a lot of back and forth, the ban has finally been lifted. And the reason? Apple has agreed to invest big time in Indonesia. We're talking over $300 million. So what exactly is Apple going to do with all that money? Well, they're planning to set up research and development centers there. This means they'll be training local people and giving them opportunities to develop their own tech products and services. That was a major thing the Indonesian government wanted, and Apple is now on board. They're also going to start making some of their products in Indonesia. At first, it'll be smaller stuff like AirTags, and they'll be doing that on an island called Batam. Apparently, this one factory alone will produce a pretty significant chunk of the world's AirTags, like 20%. There are also plans for another factory in Bandung to make even more accessories. On top of all that, Apple is also going to fund academies to teach students tech skills and coding. So it's not just about selling phones, they're really investing in the future of tech in Indonesia. Interestingly though, it looks like Apple isn't planning to actually make iPhones in Indonesia just yet. So they'll be selling them there without having a full-blown iPhone manufacturing plant in the country, which is kind of unique. So after all that drama, the good news is that you'll finally be able to officially buy the iPhone 16 in Indonesia starting April 11th. It sounds like a win-win situation. Apple gets to sell their phones, and Indonesia gets a big investment in its tech industry. What do you think about this whole situation? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.